Welcome to Doc's Daily Dose for Dads, prescribed by Dr. Harrison. You know, we are our own worst critics. And when it comes to our kids, man, we can make ourselves a nervous wreck, right? I mean, we worry about every little thing. Even if it doesn't matter what kind of parent you are, you worry about your kids. Hopefully you do at least, And I have a story I wanted to share that highlighted my worrywart self and how it all played itself out. So my youngest son is 3 years old, and with each of the kids, we started pre-K at 3 so that they could do pre-K at 3 years old, pre-K at 4 years old, so they get 2 years of it, and then they go into kindergarten at 5. So they've had 2 full years of being acclimated to school, so they know what it's like, so they don't walk into kindergarten and have no idea what's going on or how to behave or what to expect. So growing up, though, at least in the first 3 years, he didn't really talk much. He was advanced physically, but compared to the other 2 boys, he just didn't say much. He started talking later. I mean, and even when he could say words, there wasn't much coming out of his mouth. And I got super worried. I was, oh my God, can he not speak? Is there something wrong? Is there something going on? And I was worried when he goes to school, is he going to be able to, socialize with his friends? Is he going to be too scared? Is he just going to be the quiet kid in the corner who never says anything and I'll never know what's going on with him? That scares me even more, because what if something happens and he can't tell me, or he doesn't tell me because he just keeps to himself? He also has a tendency sometimes to play this I don't know how to do it or I can't game, right? To get you to do stuff for him. And I was wondering, we practice stuff at home. Is he going to go to school and be like, I don't know my letters. I don't know my numbers. And you see where I'm going with this? All over the place. Just worried, right? But when I stopped and thought about it, and also talked to the physician about my concern about him not talking much, because if you have a real concern, if it's a legitimate concern, you should go see somebody and ask, right? And so when we went for our normal checkup, I asked the physician, and he said something that made total common sense that I already knew, but because I was worrying so much and it was fogging all of my knowledge and my observation and everything I know, it just blocked it. And what he said was, you've got 2 other kids. You've got you and your wife in the home. Your parents, your sister, her daughter, his cousin, they're always at your house. Everything that's done, going to get snacks, putting stuff away, bringing people, food, or turning on the television to a certain channel. He doesn't have to ask for anything because everyone always wants to include the baby. Right? So when the older brother went to go get a snack, get one for your brothers. Or they would just get stuff and bring one because they knew they had to make sure to share across the board with all of their brothers. Or when it's like, oh, it's time, you get to watch some TV now, Adris. Here, I know you love Paw Patrol, and they would just turn it on. Right? So he never had to speak up. If you're going to give me everything I want and I don't have to say anything, why would I say anything, right? And so I was like, of course. Duh. I was so clouded by worrying that I didn't even think about that. So I started to make sure that I gave him opportunities to ask for things. It wasn't just everything handed to him. It was, if you want something, say something. Oh, what is that? No, you got to speak up. Come show me. If you can't say the full syllables and say it properly, show me, point to it. And then I'll practice that sound. No, this is called gummies. Right? And we'll work on that. And so we did that, but it alleviated some of my concern by asking someone who knew outside of myself to eliminate my bias as well as, my clouded judgment, right? Because he's a bystander, he's an outsider. He has no stake in the game. So off to school, my little one went, but I'm waiting for that parent-teacher conference, right? I'm talking to him about school. Now he's 3. He's about to turn 4 at the end of summer. The kid can't stop talking. He asks 1,000 questions a day. He's always in the mix and doing things, and he's so independent. Just the other day, I was telling you about how he laid himself down to go to sleep. But I was still waiting for that parent-teacher conference. because he's at school 3 hours a day. And I don't know what's going on in there. I'm not sitting there. I know the teachers love him and he's so cute and so nice and kind and gives them hugs. But now I wanted to know, like, how's he doing? I don't expect, he's going to be a Harvard grad right now by 3 years old. I already figured that out. I don't really care about that. I just want to know, like, is he on the same level or at grade appropriate level? Like, is he doing well amongst his peers? And his teacher, Miss Sue Bush, who actually was the pre-K teacher for all three of my kids, and she was the pre-K teacher for me and my sister, and my mom was her assistant teacher when my mom first started working in the school district. She worked it was like an assistant pre-K daycare type thing. Ms. Bush is awesome. First off, Ms. Bush does great things, like she talks about how she will bring menus from restaurants so that the kids can do imaginative and make-believe play and actually use menus and fake cash registers and stuff like that. She pulls out the guitar and she plays music with them. And I mentioned those two things in particular because, one, I already know Adris loves music and he loves cooking, right? So we went to the parent-teacher conference and Ms. Bush sat us down and said, you know what? He's doing great. He's actually doing better than the second year pre-K kids. He can identify all of his uppercase letters. He can identify 18 of his lowercase letters. He can count to 29. He just doesn't know 30 yet or has to be reminded, but then can keep counting up once you give him the number to the 10, 30, 40, 50. He's into music. He jumps around and dances all day, and every time we have free time, he wants to play some song called Bop Till You Drop, which we got the CD. I try not to turn it on that much. Or another song called Popcorn. And if he's not doing that, he's playing cooking with his friends to where he's playing, passing out the menus, taking their orders, getting fake money from them in a cash register, and then cooking it up and using an oven mitt to pull it out of the oven and serving it to the consumer, the restaurant goer. And it just made me so proud. All this worrying I was doing, and he was totally fine. Imagine had I put all that stress on him, like, you got to do better here. No, I need you to speak up more. No, you got to do this, and just totally focused on changing everything about him instead of letting him be and just, when the opportunities present themselves, teach him something like, no, you got to ask me for that, instead of forcing down his throat. It also made me think, wow, I got to take a step back. I got to relax a little bit. All of us got to relax a little bit when it comes to our kids. I'm not talking about dangerous situations. I'm talking about the little simple stuff. Pre-K is not going to determine what happens for them for the rest of their life. Yeah, you want them to be on par with their classmates, but they don't need to be reading at a 5th grade level in pre-K. Really? That just takes them out of the social circle of their friends because no one can relate to them. I had to trust the process. I had to trust myself and my parenting skills. I actually gave a damn about my son, and so I worried about him, but I did things to make sure that, I'm teaching him stuff, but I wasn't so hardcore that I didn't allow him to be a kid at such a young age. So do what you can, but remember, nothing is guaranteed 100% in life. You cannot control anything 100%. This is not an experiment. If it was an experiment where I can control things, I could control the outcome. But my kids are with different people at different times and different places. They see different things. I can't control it all the time. And once he gets to kindergarten and he's in school from 8 to 3, that's 7 hours without me. How do I control everything that's happening at a school? I can't. So what I can do is do my best to prepare him and set him up for success, and then trust that I've done all that I could, and sit back and watch him flourish. And if he needs help, help him in the areas he needs. But I'm not going to put my finger into his chest and tell him that he needs to be this and that, and we got to study 24/7, and give some kid a nervous breakdown before he gets to the age of 12. The fact is, if you worry, you're actually a good parent because it means you have awareness and you give a damn about your child. But if you start to over worry and put that on them, that's the type of kid you're going to create who's going to turn into a worrisome adult who can't make any move, any step because they're too scared to make a mistake or too worried about the risk. So relax, be calm, check yourself, realize that your worries that are going in all these different directions, that's your own creation. And the future's not decided in a day for a 4-year-old. You got a lot of time with them. So keep working, keep being patient, keep being a good parent. All right, that's Doc's Daily Dose for Dads. Don't forget to hashtag Doc's Daily Dose for Dads, hashtag 4D. All social media at RebirthBX. Check out the website, rebirthbx.com. Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music. I'm looking forward to some great stuff coming up. I'm going to be hitting social media a little bit harder, just sharing my journey along with what I'm doing here, just so you guys can really see I come from the heart, always. That's how I roll. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.